Ketosis can be a protocol to deal with illnesses like we talked about epilepsy and diabetes. We're going to talk about some of the mental health issues that it can also help us with. But there's a benefit in our body for us to be able to shift and use both, to use some glucose effectively and to use ketones effectively and to be able to go back and forth. It is called metabolic flexibility. It's a huge competitive advantage that a human has to be able to survive on either of those fuel sources. Can you tell us a little bit why that's the case and why we should look to periods of time when we are in ketosis and periods of time when maybe we're not?
Oh, this is great. So, um, so this topic is so important because people think about ketosis as an all or nothing thing, right? Like I either have to be on a ketogenic diet every single day for the rest of my life, which almost nobody can imagine committing to that, or they think, oh, ketosis is dangerous. I'm not supposed to be in ketosis. It's dangerous. It's only for dire circumstances like serious illnesses like brain cancer or type 2 diabetes where you have severe metabolic damage or maybe a very serious condition like Alzheimer's disease. And that's not true. That's a very black and white way of looking at things. And the body isn't black and white. The body, as you said, is designed to be metabolically flexible. I mean, how long would we have lasted as a species if we could only run our bodies on one kind of fuel? It's going to depend on what's around you at the time. If you're surrounded by plants, eat plants. If you're surrounded by animals, eat animals. And so, fuel yourself and the body will figure out how to do it, right? So we can burn fat and we can burn carbohydrate. And but what I make this point in the book, and this is why I really appreciate what you asked, is that you're picking this piece out of the book that I think is so important, is that I'm convinced by having learned the biochemistry of all this, the metabolic truth of all this, is that even if you don't have obesity or type 2 diabetes or some serious mental health condition or neurological condition or cancer, I still think that we all benefit from spending at least some time in ketosis on a regular basis, because it's only when you're in ketosis that a whole different set of pathways shifts into gear that are really important for health maintenance. And this is, things like recycling pathways and maintenance pathways and healing pathways. Because if you're constantly burning carbohydrates for energy, all if you're burning carbohydrates, you're trying to burn carbohydrates all the time, then your insulin levels are going to be higher. And when glucose and insulin levels are when insulin levels are high, even if they're not too high, if you're just in this insulin driven state of, okay, we're going to be burning carbohydrates for energy, we're going to be using carbohydrates to build things, we're going to be carbohydrate fueled. If you're doing that all the time, those pathways that are using glucose, blood sugar, to all the cell operations are being run using glucose, then it's as though you've got your foot on the gas pedal all the time, and you never get a chance to let up and heal and relax and recover, and rebuild for the next day, right? So I think we're designed to go into ketosis overnight. And if you're eating a healthy diet and your metabolism isn't too broken already, even if you're just eating whole foods, fruits, but kind of a paleo style diet, I think that's probably what was happening, is that your insulin levels would come down every night enough to turn on fat burning and let some of those healing pathways take over. And then you could start eating again the next day. And that this is the benefit of intermittent fasting too, is that you take the pressure off that glucose insulin system, and you let things quiet down. And if you're not able to shift back and forth like that, your long-term health will suffer. You don't want to be in overdrive all the time.